Hey, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Cooper. On today's episode, we're gonna make a seafood chowder. I like to make this about once a year, and that's because after the New Year's, we have a little bit of leftover seafood because we do a big old thing for New Year's Eve with lots of different seafood and whatnot. So anyway, let me go over the ingredients with you, and then we'll get to it. Alright, move you in closer here, and I'll show you what we got here. Alright, so over here, down here, we got some Red King crab legs. You don't have to use the Red King crab leg. You can use any kind of crab that you would like. I'm using the Red King because that's what we bought this year. Last year we bought snow crab because that's all that was available. But normally we use king because that's what we like to eat. Scallops. I bought a big old bag of scallops and then I portioned it out. And so I've got a couple of bags of scallops here. And then we got some shrimp. We bought another bag of shrimp. These ones are already tailed and deveined and all that whatnot. I'm not going to use this whole bag. I'm probably going to use about half of it. So half of that is 16 ounces. So 1 pound is what we're going to be using. I like to use fresh clams, but this is about a week later and I couldn't get any fresh clams. There was none available. So we're just going to go with these whole baby clams. And we're going to be using about 60 ounces. It's 56 ounces is what we're using. So we got 2 of those cans, and then you'll need a little bit of extra clam juice. I only wanted a pint. My wife got this whole big old 1 quart, and I don't need anywhere near that. Next, for your vegetables that you're going to be using: carrots, celery, and we're going to be using all of this. So all this celery, all these carrots, 1 massive onion, and those are going to go in first. That's called a mirepoix. So you stick it in your big ass stock pot like this. I make a big lug of it, and then we freeze it so we have it throughout the year. You're gonna need butter, milk. You don't need this whole thing, but you need quite a bit of it. Half and half. Heavy whipping cream. This is a part of your thickening agent along with your butter. And then get over here, your flour. And then you need a whole mess of potatoes. I've got them in here. So these are red potatoes. They're dirty because I get them from a farm. A guy grows them here locally and I get them from him. So anyway, that's your ingredients. Let me get to cutting and peeling and whatnot, and we'll get our butter melting in our pot with our celery and carrots and onion. You're also, for your ingredients for spices, you're going to want pepper, some sea salt, and a bay leaf or a couple of bay leaves, and that's pretty much the size of your seasonings. The rest of your seasonings, oh, forgot one thing. My secret ingredient is in this can. Sugar. So that just brings it all together with your salt and your pepper and whatnot. You don't use a lot of sugar, but you do use some. So let me get to slicing and dicing, and I'll bring you back when we're about ready to put our mirepoix and get that cooking down. I don't know if I mentioned this, but bacon. You need bacon. Alright, now that we got all of our mirepoix all diced up, we're gonna go ahead and get us one of them sticks of butter. We're gonna toss it up in here in our big old 16-quarter. Plop her down in medium low heat, because we just want to sweat these vegetables down. So we'll go ahead and get those in. I know it seems like a lot of vegetables, but look at this pop. It's delicious. Get all those sweated down. Next thing we want to do, we want to dump us about a tablespoon of salt right up in, whoa, let's put some of that back. Well, let's dump it in. All right, that's a tablespoon. Get that in there. Let it start to sweat. It's a big churning spoon. Apparently, the wife threw away my wooden spoon. That's what I use for this. Get all that salt incorporated. And that butter will gradually melt down. And that salt will help to sweat these vegetables. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to move on to washing and peeling our taters. Alright, now that we got our vegetables all sweat off, our potatoes cut up over here in this bowl. Let me get you this way. You're a little too far over there, huh? Got our potatoes cut up and soaking in this bowl. We got our chicken scraps from the carrots and the celery. That'll go right back in our fridge. Next we want to do is we want to add one. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Let's unscrew her. 1 tablespoon of pepper. That goes in. Now, get up in here to your garlic. You want to add, this spoon not even long enough. I'm at the bottom of my garlic. Two tablespoons of this minced garlic. Need a bit more. Can't reach it. Two tablespoons of that. And then give all that a nice stir in with your sweated vegetables. And then you want to turn down this heat, because that garlic, if it burns, doesn't taste very good. So get that down. Let me give you a glimpse of that. I'll stir her up for you. See that? Got all that butter. And you let that sit for about, and simmer for about 10 minutes. And then I'll show you the next step. Alright, the next thing you want to do, after you've let this simmer for about 10 minutes with that garlic in it, is you want to start adding your flour, 1 tablespoon at a time, and mix thoroughly. Got one. We'll stir that in. You don't want this to get clumpy, that's why you add it one at a time until it soaks up that liquid. So it's thoroughly incorporated. Then you can add your next one. You want to start sprinkling it around at this point because it's soaking up that liquid. You don't want this to become clumpy. We can even turn down the heat to low at this point. You don't want any of this to burn. Alright. We got 2 more tablespoons to go. Now this is one more thickening agent in this. Once you got this all, it should start kind of sticking to the bottom a little bit. And so the next step that you gotta do right off the bat, you wanna come in here and you wanna get 1 pint. Why does this one not have pints? Let's get my pint measurer. Get a church key. I don't know what we're going to do with the rest of this clam juice. But you want to get this 1 pint. One pint clam juice. Get that in there. Mix that up. And it'll start to thicken right away. This is your base. I'll show you what that looks like. It's not going to be super thick, it's just going to be kind of thick. The hotter it gets, the thicker it will get. Once this is thick enough, I'll show you what it looks like. You see how it's gravy-like in there? It's all gravy-like. That's what you want. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this from the heat and we're gonna start cooking up our bacon. Like so. I'll bring you back when I got that ready. Alright, so we got our bacon up here in our pan, all 1 pound. 1 whole pound, and we're gonna cook that all the way down till it's almost to the point of crispy. Alright. If you were using your time wisely, you would have been using it to cut up your pound of scallops and your pound of shrimp into small pieces. If not, you're way behind. Alright, so our bacon's done. We're gonna keep that heat on, but we're gonna turn it on low. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab us a pair of tongs from out of the depths of the drawer. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tong feed this into our pot. You wanna know why? Because we want our chowder to be creamy, not greasy. That's right. Some of these are crispy, some of them are not quite crispy. And that's what we want. Get it off of the heat. Once you get to the bottom of this, you want to start shaking it off so you don't get grease. And it'll be delicious. My dog's over there drooling. He loves bacon. Get all those pieces up out of there. Now, if you're resourceful, you'll use your bacon grease for other types of cooking. Alright, don't burn yourself. If you're using a cast iron, use something to move it, because you'll burn the shit out of your hand. Ask me how I know. Alright. So now that's over there. We got our on medium low. We're going to start bringing this back up to a heat while we're mixing in this bacon. Yeah? Alright. So the next thing you want to do, because you're already at this point, you're going to start building. And by building, I mean adding your stuff. So, first thing we do, our second thickening agent. The first one was our butter flour mixture with our vegetables. Second one is your heavy cream. You're going to use this whole thing. Oh, and if I didn't mention, it's like 1-1-1 on all this. So, 1 quart of heavy cream. Done. Mix all that together real quick. Make sure it's incorporated before you add your next liquid. Remember, we are making a creamy chowder. Not any of them pussy other chowders with the red tomato bullshit. Cream is the way to go. Next, add your half and half, 1/2 gallon. Watch out, it'll splatter if you pour it too fast, so you want to get it in there, but get it in there slow. Just like such. Next, you're going to incorporate that as well. Now you can kick the heat up to about medium. There's my other measuring cup. Son of a biscuit lover. 1 more tablespoon of salt. Oh, we went a little over. Should be fine. That was about 1 1/8 tablespoon. 1 more tablespoon of pepper. This is your base flavor. Now you get up into your other cupboard. Get your bay leaves. We're going to add 3 of those whole leaves, if I can get them out. Come on now. There's some partial. Don't matter. Come on. There we go. 1, 2, Do another partial. If it falls to the ground, don't use it. All right. That's in there now. Okay. Even though we have garlic in there, we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Say about 1.5 teaspoons. Now we're going to mix this round. Next, you're going to add your 2 cans of clam with the juice and all of it. Get it all in there. Now, like I said, I like to use clams. Normally what I'd do is buy fresh clams. I mean, I would normally buy a 5-pound bag of clams, and that would yield about the same amount of clams out of these 2 cans. So, we got that in there. Now I'm going to show you our liquid level. There you go. You got your bay leaves floating around in there. Everything's in there. You have this on medium heat. We're going to add our shrimp and our scallops up in there, because those need to cook. We'll mix those around. See how that brought our fluid level up a little bit? That's why we add this stuff now, so we can see how much milk we need to put in. Let's strain off our taters. And we can add those next. Now the reason why we didn't wash these like thoroughly and let them sit in the water is because this is our third thickening agent. The starch is in the potatoes. All right. Got that. Out of the way. Out of the way. All right. Our next ingredient. We may add more than this, depending on the flavor later on after this is cooked a while. So now we're going to add our sugar. This is 1/4 cup. And remember, our seasonings in here are just base seasonings. Once this starts to cook up and thicken, we're going to add to taste after that. We just wanted some flavor in there with our vegetables and our shrimp and our taters to begin with. Now we'll stir this up. And you can see there's a lot of stuff up in there. The next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some milk. We're gonna bring her up to probably about right here in the pot. All right. We got this small one we'll use up first. Got that one up in there. We got about 1.5 inches to go. See where this takes us. Almost there. Boom. Right there. That's where she takes us. Stir that up. Now we're going to give her a taste test, a preliminary taste test, and see where our flavors are at. This is just preliminary. All right, we're tasting pretty good right now. Once all those flavors come out of the seafood in there, we're gonna have a nice, rich, creamy, sweet, but not too sweet, and salty and peppery flavor. It's gonna be delicious. We'll get back to it. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start cracking my crab. All right. We got our red king crab all broken out of the shells. Just like so. I've been doing this for a long time, so there was only one piece I had to use my kitchen scissors on because I just couldn't get it to crack, so I had to cut it. But other than that, went pretty smooth. You want to make sure you're scratching the bottom of this. I'm probably going to have to get a bigger spoon. So, for the next portion of this, we just want to break this crab up. We don't want it whole. We want these pieces floating around all nice and nice. Oh, look at that. I'm going to eat that chunk. Ow. That's good. Let's get a final weight and see how much crab we're actually putting in there. There's a pound of scallops, a pound of shrimp, about a pound of clams. This will feather its way all the way through all that nice and nice. Give it a nice, sweet crab flavor. All right, I'll bring you back. Oh, you thought I was gonna touch my camera with my crab hands, dumbass. All right, I've teared out my bowl. Put my crab into a different bowl. Let's see how much we got here. $1.365, so just over 1¼ pounds of crab. Perfect. We'll take it. Get her in there. All right. All right, I'll mix this round, and this is gonna just simmer and start to reduce for a while. Get her all mixed up in there. Give me a little plate, and that way I can clean everything up. All right, there's a note I want to add to this. If you want to add another vegetable to this, my suggestion would be corn. I've made it with corn before. It's delicious. It adds a little bit more sweetness to it. I'm not doing it this time because this is the way I want it this time. But you can add some corn to it. But you got to make sure through this simmering process of when you're reducing it down to get thicker, those starches from the potatoes will start to thicken up and they'll drop to the bottom. So you want to make sure that you stir it not frequently, but on occasion, so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. Oh yeah! Clean your dishes, you filthy animal! Alright, so we're about 2 hours later, about 10 minutes shy of the 2-hour mark. We're gonna bring you in, show you how thick it is right now. We still got about an hour left until this is gonna be done for me. I've got it on medium low, so it's just a simmering away. So let me bring you in, lift you up, jaw jack you up a little bit here. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good, don't it? Getting all jaw jacked, Brian. Alright, bring you down. Bring you closer. Alright. So, I got me a longer spoon and I've been stirring it around. Everything is starting to condense real good. It's reducing up. You can see the consistency of it is nice and it's starting to get thick. It's not super thick, but it's like loose gravy right now. And that's after being on here for 2 hours. We've reduced it down probably about 3/4 of an inch. In the next hour, it'll probably reduce down another 1/4 of an inch. So it'll be about 1 inch of reduction in the liquid. And at that time, it'll be done. And then it'll be time to taste it. But I'm gonna taste it right now. We're gonna see what it tastes like. All right. Oh, that's good. All those flavors have congealed together, combined up, and they've really taken all the flavors together and put it into that cream. It tastes real good. It's rich, but it's good. And that's what we wanted. So when this is done, I'll bring you back. Alright. So, I'll move you over here. It's been cooking for a long time. We're gonna finish her up now. She's all done. And show you what she looks like. Oh yeah, it's holding together real good. Look at this. Get you in here real good. See that? All your taters and shrimp pieces, celery, all that stuff. All into one nice chowder. Let's give her a taste. Alright, let me get a little blow on her. That's delicious. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.